Sooner or later, whatever your reason for traveling, you will want to stop and look about you. It might be to confirm your position, to look for a specific place, or simply to admire the view. Whatever you're looking for, the higher you are, the more you'll be likely to see. This was the first viewpoint, and this the second one on the small knoll. With an even higher viewpoint, visibility would improve again. Elevation nearly always improves a view. But it doesn't ensure it. Take the road through Grisdale Forest. If you reached Esthwaite Lodge, will you be able to see the village of Hawkshead? In particular, the tower of Hawkshead Church. First, study the relative heights. This is the 150-metre contour, so we must be at 180 metres. This is the 80-metre contour next to Hawkshead Church, and there's a spot height of 69 metres, which helps us confirm the village's elevation, about 110 metres below ours. The contour intervals are fairly regular, and there seems to be no convex slope to obscure our view. So it looks very hopeful. Set the map and see. Where's the church? Obviously, it can't be seen. But why? Go back to the map and plot the elevation of the ground between our viewpoint and Hawkshead Church. All you need is a piece of paper. Lay the edge of the paper along the line of view. At every point where the paper crosses a contour, mark the paper. Now draw a vertical scale. Each interval represents 10 metres. The scale itself doesn't matter, but all intervals must be equal. Number the intervals. And then drop vertical lines down from the edge of the paper. Mark the points of intersection. 180 metres, 170, 160, 150, 140, 130, 120, 110, 100, 90. A snag. We know the last intersection is 80 metres, but this still leaves 2 intersections unaccounted for. So, back to the map. These are the missing intersections produced by the 90-metre contour, indicating a small rise in excess of 90 metres. It's right in our line of view and immediately adjacent to the village. Add these to our paper and join all the crosses to complete the cross-section of the slope. Mark the church, the viewpoint, and finally, the line of view. The position of the rise just obscures the church from our view. Another example. Our position this time on the col east-northeast of the village of High Newton, near to the spot height of 157 metres. The feature we want to see is the church at Witherslack. Draw the line of view. There are three features it crosses which could affect our chances of seeing the church. First, the slope we're standing on. It's convex. Second, the large irregular knoll on the near side of the River Winster. It rises to over 30 metres. Third, the wooded knoll called Slate Hill, which we would seem to be missing. There's only one way to check. Take a piece of paper and mark on the contours. Then a scale for the vertical intervals. Now the intersections. Finally, join all the points of intersection together and mark in the church and our viewpoint position. The line of view reveals that we have an excellent chance of seeing the church. The convex slope doesn't affect the visibility of distance, only the area at the foot of the slope. The first knoll isn't high enough to bother us where it is. The second wooded knoll is just off our line of view as expected. Even now, we can't be sure of seeing the church. The tower may be low. There may be trees around it. The map just tells us it's possible. It doesn't tell us it's definite. Here, reality confirms what the map said was possible. A point to remember. At Hawkshead, we failed to see the church because of the intervening small rise. At Witherslack, we saw the church in spite of several intervening knolls. Why? It depends on how close the intervening high land is to the feature we're looking at. If, for example, the larger of the two knolls at Witherslack had been positioned closer to the church, it would effectively have blocked our view. Although contours are the basic source of information about intervisibility, they aren't the only one. Suppose you're standing here and looking south across Morecambe Bay. What kind of view will you have? Set the map. There are no contours between our position and the bay, which could lead us to suppose the view is unimpaired. But it isn't. And the map can give us a clue, an embankment symbol. It marks embankments for both railways and roads. The map doesn't give the height of embankments, but always presume they'll be an obstacle to visibility. Another visibility problem, Cappenray Church. Can it be seen by someone approaching it by the road from the southeast? Our viewpoint is up to 10 metres higher than the site of the church, and only a few hundred metres separate them. But this small area of woodland could affect visibility. The church is at the far side of it from our viewpoint. That's exactly what happens. If the tower of the church had been higher, we might have seen it. But the map does not tell us the height of buildings, nor indeed of trees. Although the map shows woodland and forest, it does not show individual trees or even small groups of them. This church at Hutton Roof should be visible. But in fact, it isn't. Surrounding trees hide it from our view. We can see where it is, but can't actually see the church itself. Finally, remember that contours only reflect variations in height at intervals of 10 metres. Variations in height of less than 10 metres are not marked, but they are big enough to affect visibility. Stand behind this farm and look past it to the motorway bridge across the canal. This appears from the map to be only slightly lower than our position, and the map shows no higher land between. But our view is affected by a rise of ground on the other side of the farm, too small to be included on the map, yet large enough to mar the visibility. We can't see the motorway. To sum up, on all questions of visibility, if the map says no, then the answer is no. It was no at Hawkshead because of the small rise between us and the village. It was no to our view across Morecambe Bay because of the railway embankment. It was no at Cappenray because of the intervening woodland. But when the map says yes, it only means perhaps. So, though we did see the church at Witherslack, we failed to see the church at Hutton Roof because of trees which weren't marked. And we failed to see the motorway bridge because of undulating ground, not quite high enough to be marked by contours. When the map says perhaps, only a reconnaissance on the ground will give a final yes or no.